friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video, I am going to be completing two projects using the June 2021 Stories by the Month kit from Ali Edwards. So the first story that I have here is going to go in a 6x8 album that holds my daughter's just random stories. So this is going to be a story album project. For this one, I have a bunch of these circle chipboard pieces, a couple of the cards that I've pulled out, one that I've gone ahead and added my journaling to, and then 6 2x2 photos, which will be the photos primarily for this spread. A little bit of white cardstock because I'm thinking I'm going to do some stamping to put behind the chipboard pieces. Then I've got another story over here that I was inspired by this stamp set to create. So on the June stamp set, there's this one that says counting all the good stuff. So I thought that could be a really fun story to tell, to come up with a couple of random things to go count in the house, things that are good for, things that make us feel good or that we enjoy, and then to tell that story. So I've pulled out an older stamp set, the 2020 Week in the Life number stamp from last year, from Ali Edwards. And then I've also printed off a couple of photos that I can add, and I've already created my journaling page. So I'm planning to stamp numbers, add a photo, and hole punch this to put it directly into my album. So what I'm going to do is put you on fast forward, get both of these spreads put together, and then once everything is done, we'll slow back down in order to finish out the video for today. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to start us off by working on this spread about Isabella first. So for this one, what I need to do is to go ahead and get a little portion of cardstock stamped. So this is a 4x6 section of, I believe it is textured cardstock, but it might actually just be plain cardstock also. And what I'm going to do is stamp a pattern over the entire 4x6, and then I'm going to cut it down into 6 2x2 squares. Those are going to serve as the background for all of those 2-inch circles. For my stamping, I grabbed out, I want to say this is the this might be the 2020 May Stories by the Month stamp, I believe. But it has a flower on it and a flower center, which is really what I wanted for this particular spread. So I stamped my flowers in the yellow Honeyman ink, and I also stamped it in the super light pink, which is Astoria. And then for my centers, I used the Honeyman yellow, and then I also used the Tillamook orange. So that gave me a repeat pattern for florals on the card. Then I also grabbed over my full page journaling, which I'm using for my second story today. I figured while I had all my stamping stuff out, I might as well get this one done as well. So the number stamp there is from the, I believe that was from the Week in the Life number stamp from 2020. And for that, I stamped in the pink Rose Garden from Ali Edwards. It's a crafter's ink to stamp out the number of the things that I counted. So I had 12, 22, 3, and 7. And then I used the current Stories by the Month stamp to stamp counting all the good things in black on top of those numbers. So while the ink is all drying, I'm going to go ahead and cut all of my 2x2 photos from the 4x6. So here are all of these. And the story that this one is all about is a random, spontaneous tea party that we had here at home. So I have a couple of pictures from of just Izzy. I have a picture of our table where we've got our teapot and some macaroons. And then I've got some pictures of Izzy and Jonah together. So once I had that done, I went ahead and cut the 4x6 repeat pattern stamped page or card into the 2x2s as well. Put those all around the photos, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick down all of the 2x2 circles to get them how I like them. So I love, love, love the way that this one is turning out. I have my journaling on the this and that card, which I had done before starting today. And then I did add my date stamp there. And then the sun card is just going to be a filler card. So that is it for the first story. For the second one, this is the one where I went around my house and counted a bunch of random things. So I counted how many books I've read so far this year. That's the number 12. I've got how many tulips are currently blooming in our garden, which I have 3. I had how many types of beer we have in our beer fridge, and I had 7. And then how many coffee mugs I have ready and waiting for coffee to be put in them, and we have 22. So I don't think that's all of the cups, but that's how many we currently had in the cupboard and on the countertop. So just random things that bring me joy, right? Reading, flowers, beer, and coffee. So then what I did is I grabbed a piece of this, it's a Vicky Bouton pattern paper. I don't remember what it's called. I feel like it's from the Storyteller line, but I could be wrong about that. And I'm adding a piece up at the top. I like the way that it has that rainbow feel to it. And then it also pulls in the pinks from the stamping that I did earlier. For my photos here, I believe these are 0.75 by 0.75. Like they're fairly small, and they might be 1.75. Actually, now that I think about it, they're small, but they're not like itty bitty, and just big enough to go next to my text boxes. So I took photos to correlate to the different things that I counted, and I'm going to stick those along the side there. Once I have those into place, and you'll see I'm just going to add like a teeny tiny bit of adhesive into the middle of those photos so I can get them positioned where I want them to go, and then I'll pull them back up and fully cover them in adhesive and then stick them back down. That for me is a way to test out where I'm going to put them without ruining the page that I'm sticking them to. I did stick a piece down at the bottom part of the pattern paper from the top, but I added too much of it. So I needed to pull it back off, and then I'm going to re-stick it down, but put a little bit more space in between that strip of pattern and the photo right above it. That was really the problem I was having with it, is it just seemed like it was crowding the space for the photos. Okay, so we're going to trim this off here, and then I'm happy with where all those photos are. So I'm just going to pull them off and fully cover them in adhesive. Working on pages like this is really fun, where it's kind of more editorial. Like, it reminds me of a page that you might see maybe in a magazine, and that's definitely a style that I feel very drawn to. Just where things are a little bit more spaced out, I suppose, and where the writing takes the stage for the spread. Okay, so we're getting them all stuck down there. And then the last thing I decide that I want to do is to go ahead and add a title up at the top. So for the title, or I guess I'll date stamp it first at the bottom. I've really been working on getting better at that. So I'm proud of myself for remembering it more times than not lately. So for the title, I'm taking the This and That stamp off of this month's Stories by the Month kit stamp set, and I'm going to ink that up with my Scrapbook.com premium black dye ink, stamp that directly in the middle, and then that will be it for my title. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring the other page back over. I did go and grab a page protector so you can see how this will look when I get everything inside of those squares. I like positioning them on the 2x2 squares, especially for taking photos, because it has a little bit of space in between the squares, and I think that looks nice. All right, friends, that completes both of my spreads for today. Love these ones. I actually really am happy with how this one turned out over here with the counting all of the good stuff. I think that was such a fun story to tell. And I also love how the little floral stamping in the background really helps to pop the colors over on the right side as well. It just is really fun and colorful, and a really great event. Not really event, but occasion that we had here to document. So just really glad to have both of these stories told. I hope that you enjoyed watching both of these come together, and if you did, I would love a thumbs up down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're there if you haven't already, so you can catch all of my future crafty videos. I will be back later in the week with some additional content, so keep your eyes open for that. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.